could feel beauty rising.
Oh, yeah. No, those are good, but when you're buying enough for like 1,000 people, that's first, you know, so. I mean, I would use it myself.
Hi, my name is Sue Skaskew with Vermont Volunteer Services for Animals Humane Society, and welcome to our show For the Animals. Today we're on site in St. Johnsbury at the Stephen Hunick Art Gallery in Dog Mountain, and our guest today is Gwen Hunick. Hi Gwen, thank you for inviting us up here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pretty exciting day.
It's a special day.
It's a special day, and
It is, we call it the Remembrance Celebration, and it's in honor of my late husband, Stephen Hunick, who loved to see people and dogs really having fun in nature. So that's what the day is really all about. Dogs swimming, dogs playing, we have great music, doggy dancing, and it's just to get the most out of Dog Mountain, and also thank Stephen for what he created.
And for those of you that aren't here today, let me tell you, is it always the same day in May?
It's always the Sunday and Memorial Day weekend.
Okay, so the day may change, but it's always that weekend.
It's always Sunday, yeah.
Well, thank God we've got good weather today.
It's wonderful weather.
And just seeing the people and the dogs arriving now, even though it's early in the day, I bet it's going to be a great day.
It is. It's so much fun to see the dogs come, and they don't know each other necessarily, and they just immediately start playing and going on adventures. And we recommend people take dogs off leash if they can.
Oh, well, I saw that on your website. I was browsing. It's a great website, by the way.
Thank you.
And to see all these dogs playing, and everybody was having a blast with them. Now, if I had my Kiwi up here years ago, Kiwi would have been the special challenge dog. But everybody seemed to get along so well.
We find that dogs are friendlier when they all are off leash. And there are a few breeds that maybe you might worry about them scenting an animal disappearing. So I understand those people leaving their dog on leash, but everybody else, I mean, they're free to play and run, and it's just great.
Well, I'll tell you, anybody who hasn't been here, I definitely recommend it as a day trip. It's a nice place to be. So I have a few questions. Why did your late husband, Stephen, create the Dog Chapel, which is what we're in right now?
Well, Stephen was an artist, a very successful artist, and his favorite subject, he said, if I'm going to spend all my life in my studio making art, I'm going to pick something that I really love, makes me happy. And the thing that he really loved was dogs. So he became quite well known for his dog sculptures, his dog woodcuts, his books about Sally the dog. And in 1995, unfortunately, he had a bad fall, and it instantly got much worse, and he got what's called adult respiratory distress syndrome, which is often fatal. And he was in a coma for 2 months, and you know, it was a hard experience, but he got better. And the amazing thing to me was that he was funny from day one. As soon as he got conscious, he would like make jokes about it. He wasn't the least bit bitter or sorry for himself or anything.
And before that, he was not? I mean, he wasn't as...
Well, yeah, I think he was still funny, but it just like comparing how I would react, you know, I would be moaning and groaning. He was just like, I got to do this. I got to learn how to talk again. I have to learn how to write again. I have to learn how to turn a doorknob again.
Wow.
Pushed himself, and the dogs were great. The dogs used to come up here and hike with him. You know, that was one of his rehabilitation things. And they would run up, because it was kind of slow, they'd run up ahead and wait for him, they'd catch up, and then they'd run some more. And I think, you know, being out in nature, seeing how much the dogs loved him and how healing they were, he talks about the idea of building a dog chapel just popping into his mind. And even though it wasn't entirely, I don't know if logical is the right word, because we had no money. But he was so determined.
Because you're always so generous donating. I mean, you're very
Well, that's
generous.
always been
Yeah.
part of our philosophy.
Great.
But he just wouldn't give up. He just, it took a while because we were funding it ourselves, but he built it, and he built it to the best of his ability. And he put up what he called a memory wall, where people could put up memories of pets they've lost. And as you can see, the memory wall has grown and grown and grown.
So if, for somebody just watching this now, how would you get here, and are you open year-round?
We're open year-round,
Okay.
except for major holidays. And in the winter, we close at 4 because it gets darker in the winter. But the rest of the time, we're open 10 to 5 and Sundays 11 to 4. And everyone's welcome. It's free to attend. Dogs, of course, are welcome. And use the pond, use the agility course. Everything here is free. And what does fund the dog chapel is the sale of Stephen's art, which is in the gallery. And that's always how we have done it. It's sort of his gift to the universe from his art to this.
Tell me about your dog parties.
Yeah, they're great. I've heard they're great. We actually used to have a gallery in Woodstock, Vermont, and we noticed we had a dog walker out front, and all the dogs would stop.
I know. The big,
Yeah, all the dogs would stop and sniff the butts of the other dogs. And we saw, that they really recognized them as dogs, and they also recognized their own breed, and I think sometimes people don't give dogs enough credit for how visible, cute, how well they can see what art is, put it that way.
That's
Their
really
art
impressive,
appreciation. And so then we started saying, well, dogs welcome in the gallery, and the dogs would go around and look at all the things, and then through that we said, well, let's have a dog party, and that's sort of how the whole thing evolved. And so up at Dog Mountain we have, actually it's grown from 2 dog parties to 4 dog parties a year. We have one on Earth Day.
Okay.
We have one on Remembrance. We call it Remembrance Day for Stephen, Memorial Day weekend. And then we have one the first Sunday in August, and then the Sunday of Columbus Day weekend. So they're always on Sundays, but the date may vary.
Okay.
And what we do, we just invite everybody and anybody and any dog. They're all welcome. We provide food, and we have like silly games, like really silly games.
We were talking about that. Tell me some of the games.
Well, like a dog and owner look-alike, or dog best singer, or dog best dancer, or dog best kisser, or best frisbee dog, best retriever dog, oldest dog, youngest dog, dog that traveled the farthest just to come here. I think that was Alaska. Just to come here, not to go on vacation, just to come here.
No kidding. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so, it allows people to be silly, which is, dogs can get in touch with their playful sides so easily. And sometimes as you grow up and get older, it's a little harder for adults to connect to that childlike.
To remember how to play.
Right.
Andrea and I were talking on the way up. We were looking at a picture of a cat just sprawled out. I said, I remember when I was little feeling that relaxed. I can't remember honestly feeling that carefree
Right.
in a long time.
And it's, trust is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And Stephen picked certain key words that he used on the stained glass windows, and then we also used on the prayer flags we made. And they're, if I can remember them, they're faith, trust, friend, joy, peace,
And play.
and love.
This is gorgeous. And I love all the photographs. Would you talk about that?
People are welcome to bring a photograph or write a poem or whatever they would like to honor an animal they have loved and lost. And though it's primarily dogs, it's not only dogs. We have rabbits and chickens and horses and cats and pigs and any animal.
All creatures welcome.
Right, exactly. That's what the door says. All creatures welcome. And So it's really interesting to see how people responded to this, because it was sort of a new idea when Stephen put it out there. And as you can see, the response has been overwhelming.
You know, Stephen was well known for his angel dogs and cats. What was the inspiration for them?
Okay, well, Stephen always had a thing about angels, but he'd done human angels, he'd never done animal angels. And the first dog that Stephen and I rescued together was this really sweet Doberman Pinscher, Shirley. The previous owner said they couldn't control, right?
Oh, I know.
We brought her home. She never did one bad thing. I'm thinking, boy, dogs are easy, you know?
You train people and recondition animals.
She was just this wonderful, wonderful, sensitive dog. We found a lump on her, and we brought her down to the vet, and he looked at it, and he said, I think your dog has cancer, and you should put her to sleep. Well, we just loved this dog, and we weren't going to do that without getting a biopsy first. So we said, please do a biopsy. And he sort of was like, okay, if you want to waste your money, I'll do a biopsy. And he sent it away, and all this transpired during Christmas weekend. And Stephen was devastated because we both absolutely loved this dog.
Is this Shirley?
Shirley. And so he did what he often did when he was trying to work through problems, is he made an artwork about what he was trying to solve or grieve or whatever. And he did a life-size carving of Shirley, you know, with her paws out like she was flying,
right,
with angel wings. And that was the first time he had ever done an angel dog. And we hung it up in the, had a little ceremony, we hung it up in the living room, we were all crying and everything. And then Monday rolls around, and we get this sort of sheepish call from our vet, and he says, it turned out the lump was benign. And she lived another 11 years.
How long did Shirley live?
She was about 15 when she died.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful
So, to me, the angel dogs and angel cats and things, you know, they also represent, for a lot of people, dogs that passed away and are in heaven, but I also see them just as a sort of a good luck omen too. They don't necessarily have to mean that, because, I mean, I always call my dogs angels.
Yeah.
You know, because they're angels.
My heart throbs.
Yeah. And so then once people saw the carving Stephen did of Shirley, then they wanted him to do a carving of their dog or their cat, and the thing sort of just exploded.
So that was back in, what year did he start doing
I
that?
think around 89, just quite a while ago.
Okay, because I've seen so many different pieces of artwork that Stephen's done. Luckily, because I live in Bridgewater, which is right next to Woodstock, so the art gallery is right there. And I remember, of course, the statues of the person walking the dogs was just a focal point. You drive into Woodstock, and there it was right up in the corner. And everybody, I bet you that was the most photographed place in Woodstock, with people sitting
Oh yeah,
there.
we get zillions of Christmas cards every year where someone had posed next to the dog walker with their dog. Is that your dog?
No,
Just a friendly dog.
Okay, so Stephen did a series of best-selling children's books, taken off, based on Sally.
Right.
Who is Sally?
Sally was she's since passed away, but she was a black lab seeing eye dog.
Uh-huh.
And she was trained in Morrison, New Jersey, and they go through quite a rigorous training to become certified seeing eye dogs. And Sally was placed with an older woman that apparently did not like dogs.
What's wrong with this picture?
I think she liked cats or something. And Shirley just absolutely refused to be her seeing eye dog. You know, she'd be very naughty, like jump up on the couch and maybe try to sit down, she'd growl, and, you know, I mean, she intentionally was trying to get fired.
Clearly wanted out.
Right. She said, I want to live the good life. I don't want to live this life.
Sure.
And, I mean, seeing eye dogs are great, and usually the owners adore them, but in this case, no. So they decided instead of trying to rehabilitate her or put her with someone else, that maybe she should just be retired. And we had a friend there, and they called us up and they said, "Would you like to adopt this black lab, Sally?" And we said, "Sure." And it's funny, Steve and I had a feeling driving down to New Jersey that somehow this dog was going to change our lives. We just sort of had that sense. And having been trained to be a seeing eye dog, you know, I thought she was going to be able to read and write and, you know,
Right.
the whole bit.
Turn the light off for you.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think something about the whole experience made her very stubborn. And she liked to show you that she did what she wanted to do, not because you told her what she wanted to do. But she was a sweet dog, and she,
Labs.
you know, would ride with Stephen everywhere in his car. Every once in a while there'd be something on the radio, like Stephen Hinnick and Sally at a book signing, and her ears would all perk up. And yeah, she was a great dog, and she lived to be about 11, and she passed away just about the same time as the Dog Chapel book came out.
So how many dogs and cats do you have now?
Right now I have 3 dogs. I have, my oldest is Molly, a golden retriever, and she's in some of the books as well. And then Daisy is another lab, female. And then we got a male, Sally, and we named him Salvador Doggy, but Sally for short. Because, you know, when children come to visit, they want to meet Sally. So we make sure we always have a Sally on hand.
Well, I know that you and Stephen had financial difficulties. Have you ever considered making Dog Mountain a nonprofit?
I have actually, and I started doing the paperwork, which as you can imagine is significant, but I like the idea for a couple of reasons. Stephen and I don't have any children, dogs, but no children, and his mortality sort of made me think more about my mortality.
Right.
And I would love to see this place, you know, live on forever. So if I can establish it as a nonprofit and get a board of directors and you write what your mission purpose is, then that's a good step right there to make it sustainable. Plus it's enormously expensive to keep up.
It's a beautiful, yeah. How many acres is Dog Mountain?
It's 150 acres.
Whoa, when? That's a nice piece.
Yeah.
Okay. How could we help you, or how would people help you raise money to keep Dog Mountain going?
Well, there's several ways. The simplest way is just to buy art, and that's sort of a win-win. You get a nice piece of art, and you also help us. Some people donate to Dog Mountain, which you can do online. However, it's not a nonprofit as yet.
I haven't thought of that then. Okay, and we'll make sure we put this information up. VBSA is nonprofit. If people would like to make a contribution specifically to Stephen Hinnick Art Gallery and Dog Mountain, they could do it through VBSA. And we are 501c3, so 100% of that is tax deductible.
That's great.
To you. We'll put that information up.
Great. Because people have been very generous, but I think if we were tax deductible, it could be even more generous.
Absolutely. It was so nice meeting you, and I can't wait for the rest of the day.
Oh, you got to see the pond.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Gwen.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching For the Animals, and please join us again next week.
One thing we're doing right now that I think is very exciting is we're bringing Sally into the 21st century. Stephen wrote a delightful series of Sally adventure stories, New York Times bestseller, and a dear friend of ours, Jim Bryant, has started a company to turn all those books into ebooks, and they're available on all the different, you know, Kindle, Nook, Apple, Google, all the different ways you can read ebooks. And I think this is a whole new chapter in Sally's life. And for young kids that love iPads and Nooks and Kindles, it's a lot of fun. So I'm happy they're doing it. And one of the things that I'm very proud of is we just barely started doing this. And on children's Nook books on Barnes & Noble, Sally Goes to the Beach has been the #1 bestseller for 3 weeks in a row. Our website is www.dogmt.com.
And I still have to remind her every time.
I came for the cookies.
I know. $100 contest.
Because he's still really young, and I'm not comfortable letting him wander on the grounds without being. Yeah, golden retriever. So you're on for yellow dog. Yeah. I don't think I have them here, but. So is that something that you would like us to put in?
Or if you want to frame it for you, yeah, we have the, files fit together. Yeah, the whole retriever.
Our frame is parking cars right now, so it's going to be in there. I don't know how long.
We'll be here for a
For a
while.
little while. Are you doing it for another hour?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so we can definitely do that.
Hello? Oh, hold on, let me find a place where I can hear.
Find a spot, go for it. Do you need,
They're working it. Oh, 2 balls. Oh, I can't get 2. They're so happy.
Dogs all ready? Here we go. This is it, the world famous ball toss. Ladies and gentlemen, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
The balls in the water.
Go get them, dog.
There's too many balls for the dogs.
Come on now, who's going to be winning? Who's going to be winning? They're looking for the right number. I can tell you. There's a premonition about what number he's going to be playing. They're looking. Oh, they want to get the lucky number for sure. They're looking. No, it's not that one. Maybe it's that one. No, it's not that one. Maybe it's that one. Come on now. Come on, grab the right number. Come on now. Come on now. Reel them in. All right. All right, who needs the ball, sir? Come on, get your ball. Get your ball. Pick a good number. Lucky number 7 goes a good bet. There you go. Everybody got their ball? All right. I see somebody cheating you're bringing in 2 balls at once. Come on now, bring in the ball. Who's going to be our lucky winner today? Come on now, who's going to get the lucky ball? Reel them in. I see a lot of balls floating up there. Get the ball. Come on, get the ball. Come on now.
Hey, where's my balls?
Come on, you still got time to find the lucky number. Go and get it. Bring in the ball. Somebody's got to bring the balls in, and it's not going to be me. So you guys are going to have to do it. Get in there and get them. Go on. Clean up that pond.
Go get the ball, big guy. Go get it. Get it.
He got 2! Auntie, he's got 2.
Okay, folks, time is running out now. We've got 1 minute to find number 84. Let's find number 84. Number 84. Who's got it? You got it? We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Just 1 ball? Oh, you got a bunch, but you got number 84? Here's our winner, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the prize right here. Gwen's going to hand it over.
At dusk, there came a turning. There was a moment when all was known. You could feel beauty rising on the breeze, that shapes the stone. And I would ride upon the breeze that shapes the stone, across the sky and beyond, to that place where all is known. When I could fly, when I could fly.